Welcome back to another episode of A Recent Study Suggests.
We're your hosts. I'm Sam.
And I'm Robert. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that I am comfortable saying that no one likes. Even though, as we'll find out, it's only a quarter of the people that don't like it. I'm comfortable with extrapolating that to mean 100% of people don't like it. And that's vegetables.
You're wrong. This is completely untrue. I love vegetables. And I think the issue here is the people in this study that we're going to be talking about don't really know what a vegetable is.
It would seem that way. The study that we're focusing on today is about vegetables. And I think really the big headline grabber in this is that a quarter of the participants have said that they've never eaten vegetable.
Which I think is ridiculous. You know that these people eat French fries and chips all the time.
I don't think that counts as vegetables. Why would that count as a vegetable?
Well, because you wouldn't have a French fry or a chip without the potato, and the potato is the vegetable.
You wouldn't have a lot of things without the origin thing. When you mix things or turn it into something else, it becomes something else. It's not, just the vegetable itself. Like, people don't call ketchup tomatoes.
Right.
They don't call it, like a smoothie either. They don't call it a fruit smoothie. It's a combination of things. It takes on its own thing. So,
well, is there any other way to make ketchup without tomatoes?
Yeah, I think there's different types of ketchup.
What?
Yeah, there's tomato ketchup is a type of ketchup.
What other types of ketchup are there?
There's some berry ketchups that I've heard. There's not just one type of ketchup.
I don't know, Robert. I disagree.
So I don't think that you can say chips are a vegetable. You can't say French fries are a vegetable because you've essentially taken out what makes it a vegetable. I think. So the issue is here in this study that people don't understand what vegetables are, and that's because the definition for vegetables is really confusing. Some things that aren't vegetables are considered vegetables solely based on the nutrition of it. So if it gives a certain amount of nutrition, it counts as a vegetable. So for instance, mushrooms, they're considered fungi.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of nutrition, they're also considered vegetables.
Yeah, I think that once it gets into the subcategories, that's what confuses people. Like beans, for the same reasons, they're sometimes considered a vegetable because of their nutritional value.
The nutrition, not necessarily because of what they are.
But they're legumes.
Right. Exactly. So that's why I don't think that you can say, people who say that they haven't had a vegetable at all, you can say that, they had a vegetable because they've had chips before, they had French fries. Because I feel like, no, you've taken out the nutritional value of the actual vegetable, that it no longer is a vegetable.
Oh, so if we're basing this off of the definition that a vegetable is a vegetable because of its nutritional value, once you take out the nutritional value, then it's not a vegetable.
Not a vegetable, right. People don't go out, just eat potato chips. It's like, I live such a healthy lifestyle because I'm eating vegetables all the time. No, you're eating, fried and salt, and
I guess so, yeah.
It's no longer a vegetable. That's what I think.
Well, what about fruit?
What about fruit?
So if you take away the nutritional value of a fruit, is it no longer a fruit? Like if you eat strawberries and you cover it in sugar, you're still eating a strawberry. Yeah,
you're still eating the strawberry because you haven't changed it.
Oh.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Right? Like once you make it like jam and you start adding sugar and other preservatives and like other things that make it jam, then that's no longer the fruit.
So if you have like strawberry ice cream, it's no longer a strawberry.
Right.
Well, obviously it's no longer. So I guess what we're talking about then is the whole form of a vegetable. These people have never eaten the whole forms of a vegetable. Like just snacking on carrots or snacking on celery or broccoli. As if people just snack on broccoli. I like broccoli, but I can't imagine just snacking on broccoli for pleasure.
Yeah, I can't imagine that either. But let me back up a little bit. Because we're talking about these people haven't had vegetable, and I've said a quarter of the people. But to get a grasp of what that means, because we haven't even given an actual number, in this specific study, 2,000 people were surveyed, 2,000 Americans.
Yeah.
So a quarter of that would be 500 Americans saying that they have never eaten a vegetable in their entire lives. And chips and French fries definitely don't count, in my opinion, because you've taken out the nutritional value, if we're looking at that definition of vegetable.
I guess so. Maybe they also just don't remember eating vegetables, because what about baby food? Isn't most of it vegetables?
But it's paste. It's no longer the vegetable.
It is the vegetable, though.
It's just the vegetable blended up?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's still stuff added to that.
No. Like, there's a lot of sweet potato baby food. And if you bake a sweet potato and you mash it with a fork, then it's essentially baby food.
No, but like, there are other things added to it that make it no longer the fruit, because if that was the case, then that baby food, would expire really quickly. Right? But doesn't baby food have like a long expiration date?
I don't know.
Or
I haven't eaten baby food in a long time.
Oh, so you can't remember that? But you expect people to remember eating baby food that's specifically the flavor of a vegetable?
No, I'm just saying, I think that maybe these people have eaten vegetables, they just don't remember. Which is very possible.
That is very possible. I'm messing with you. I think, it's probably possible that they ate it as a child and just don't remember.
Yeah.
Just based off the nutritional definition of vegetable, can we agree that French fries and chips do not count as a vegetable?
I don't know that I can agree with that fully.
You can't agree with that fully.
No.
You still, I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
Because what is a French fry and what is a chip without the potato? Just oil and salt.
And you've taken the nutritional value out of that.
I guess.
You can't.
Maybe I don't like the definition of that we're running with.
It's the definition that there is. You can't just say, I don't like the definition, so I want to make it something else.
I disagree with the definition, and I disagree with the study. It's a bunch of baloney.
So yeah,
no veggies.
The study did focus on just vegetable intakes and what people thought of vegetables, what their favorite ones were, how often they eat it, and like we've been discussing, the big headline is that a quarter of Americans have not eaten vegetables. But let's take a look at some of the other findings in this study. And I think one of the conversation starters is just basically talking about, what vegetables do Americans eat? What do they like? Mm-hmm. Before this study, what would you have guessed? Because you are vegan, so you eat plant-based and you eat a lot more vegetables than I do.
Right.
So what would you say, just based on what you like, that everyone else does like?
I would say like the top 2 vegetables are broccoli and carrots.
Broccoli and carrots.
Yeah, and I was really surprised with this study because the top 2 vegetables were corn and potatoes.
I would not have guessed broccoli. I could kind of see carrots being up there, but not broccoli. I know for me, I definitely don't like broccoli at all. I can't stand the smell of cooked/steamed broccoli and cauliflower. I think
that's crazy to me.
Those are just the bad smells.
I can understand cauliflower. I don't feel like broccoli actually has a smell.
It does. It definitely has a smell. Like every time you make it, you're steaming broccoli or cauliflower. You don't steam cauliflower that much often.
No, I go through phases when it comes to food, and I'm out of the cauliflower phase currently.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of the way that smells, but I definitely do see potatoes being as one of the top ones. I don't think I would have ranked corn as high as people did, but they did, and it was by slim margins.
I think that partially why corn and potatoes are so high on the list is because people love corn tortillas and French fries, and that goes against our definition of what a vegetable is.
I don't think that's why they're on there.
Definitely.
I feel like part of because the expression, and I feel like a lot of pop culture influences us, and I just think the expression is meat and potatoes. So I feel like that's why potatoes are up so high, because potatoes are, I feel like, introduced at such a young age because they pair with meat is what people kind of see it as.
Speaking of not knowing how corn got in there, do you ever just have a stray piece of corn when you use the bathroom? Like, when was the last time I had corn? It stays in you all the time. Corn just always has a way of slipping in.
What do you mean? Are you saying that you're pooping it out, or are you saying you're not pooping it out?
You are pooping it out. Well, I haven't done that in a while.
That's what you're saying?
But do you ever... Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
I can have very little corn. I can have like 5 kernels of corn, and the next day I'll poop out like 4 of them.
That doesn't happen to me. That probably happens to me with seeds, because it's hard to choose seeds because I like to put seeds in my meals, like sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. So I will often see strays of sunflower seeds, but I don't really experience that with corn.
So I've had like meatless patties that have like our black beans, they have corn, they have carrots, and so even in these patties, there's not too much corn in it that you can really see.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. I can have like 5 kernels and I'll poop out like 4 the next day. That's how little I have corn. I guess because my body isn't used to digesting it.
I was going to say, I think that's what it is. Your body doesn't digest vegetables very often. And so when you have it, you can see it the next day. Yeah, my body is constantly working on digesting vegetables. And so I rarely ever see the whole forms of them in my poo.
So yeah, those are the top 2. It's corn and potatoes. And like I said, very slim margins. 91.4% of people said that corn was number 1. While 91.2 people said that potatoes was their number 2.
Okay. So what are your top 2 vegetables?
My top 2 vegetables? I eat very little vegetables. Potatoes, I think, would be my number 1.
Why? Because you like French fries and chips?
No, because I like them on like their own, I guess, baked into things. Like the way that I prefer eating my vegetables is like in soup form.
You don't even like soup though.
I do like soup. I like some soups. Like raw carrots.
Mm-hmm.
I could eat those, but I prefer having them cooked in soup. I prefer having my potatoes like cooked in soup. That's the way I prefer eating. Like my cilantro. I like having cilantro in soup like that. I don't like having it like on tacos just like by itself like that.
So your top is potatoes and...
I don't know. I eat so little vegetables that I don't think I have a number 2. I think it would just be based on what I eat the most of. I think it would be carrots. I think it would be potatoes and carrots.
Interesting.
Just because those are the 2 that I like in soup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then if we're talking about favorite vegetables, my number 1, and I feel like will always be my number 1, is sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes,
yes.
Which I don't think are good at all.
Oh
Regular
my gosh.
potatoes are good.
I can't believe you. This week alone, I think I've had 4 or 5 sweet potatoes in a row.
In a row,
and
not in one day.
I don't regret it. It's been great. This has been a good week for me.
This is what worries me because I feel like one day I'm gonna have to have an intervention for you. Like if this streak continues, because I don't want you to turn orange.
Oh, it's happening.
You already have an orange tint to you. I didn't want it to be more orange.
Can you see it though on a daily basis? Do you see me and think like, oh, she looks kind of orange, or is it my hands? Is it mostly my hands?
I'm colorblind, so I can't really tell.
That's
it's
great.
harder for me to tell, like just because we look different. We have different skin shades, so I think, oh, she's a different skin shade. It's not when other people pointed out that you look way more orange. That I really look at you and think, yeah.
What other people are pointing out that I'm orange?
Your family. Even your family says it. Like I'm saying, I'm gonna have to get a group of people that really love you, because we all love you here, and have an intervention and say, hey, maybe chill out on the sweet potato.
If eating sweet potato for the rest of my life daily brings me joy, I'm okay with having orange hands. Perfectly okay with that.
It wouldn't just be orange hands. It's gonna spread. Like I think you already have orange feet. You have orange feet and you have orange hands. I don't want you to have the rest of you being orange.
I think also what it is okay, maybe I don't eat sweet potato every day. This has just been a really great week for me, so that's why I've been having sweet potato every day. But I do have carrots every day. Mm-hmm. And carrots and sweet potatoes both have beta carotene, which creates the orange pigment.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
I'm not going to stop.
Down. Maybe you should slow down. I didn't say stop.
Is it possible that I eat too many vegetables?
No one here wants to get, no one is here is trying to get you mad. We're trying to get you to slow down, okay? You don't have to get mad.
You don't want me to turn green, Hulk out.
Yeah.
Orange is enough.
But speaking of carrots actually came in at number 3, and they were tied with a controversial pick. They were tied with tomatoes as the most liked vegetable.
Oh my gosh. This is why this study is crazy.
Yeah, we were looking at the study beforehand, and you really did not agree with this study. You didn't agree with the fact that you couldn't believe that a quarter of Americans hadn't tried vegetables.
No, I don't believe that whatsoever.
And then you also got mad at some of the vegetables they did include in this study.
Because tomatoes are not a vegetable.
What if they're tomatoes? What if tomatoes are vegetables in the nutritional sense?
No.
No?
Because
just no?
Because, Robert, fruits can carry nutrition, but they are not vegetables. They're fruits. In fact, fruits do carry nutritional value. So this whole study, it doesn't make any sense. They're all crazy. Tomatoes are fruits. You know why? Because they have seeds. You know what doesn't have a seed? A potato.
So yeah, okay. I think if you ran this over now, if we can keep going, are you okay to go on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, carrots and tomatoes were tied for third. No.
Hold on. I got another thought.
No, okay.
Here
we go.
They set up the people that they surveyed
to
be confused about what a vegetable is by including tomatoes.
What if that's just people wrote down?
No. At the end of this study, there is a whole list of vegetables that they asked their surveyed Americans whether they eat them or whatever. And tomatoes was on the list, along with mushrooms, which are fungi.
But they're vegetables in the nutritional sense. Okay, tomatoes and carrots, number 3, tied for number 3 with 89%. And then number 4 and number 5 were onions and green beans.
How are green beans a vegetable, but beans, like black beans, kidney beans, garbanzo beans, they are not a vegetable because they're considered a legume?
I think some of them are considered vegetables. I think this is the big issue, is that no one knows what a vegetable really is. Sometimes the vegetable just based on the fact that it doesn't have seeds. Some are called vegetables just based on the nutrition that they provide. I feel like there's two conflicting, or not necessarily conflicting, but just two definitions of vegetables that make it confusing to identify what is a vegetable and just what isn't a vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side of vegetables that people didn't like, the most hated was turnips.
Have you ever had a turnip?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. I don't think I've ever had a turnip.
Honestly, I don't. I can't even picture in my mind what a turnip looks like.
I think it's a root vegetable, so it looks like... To me, I think I'm imagining a turnip, and I'm thinking sort of like a beet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Have you tried beets?
I think I have had beets.
And
I don't like them.
I think that the raw form of beets can taste kind of like dirt. But when they're cleaned and they're cooked, they're very good.
Beets were actually a close second to the most disliked list. And then followed by radishes and Brussels sprouts.
I have to agree with that.
With radishes or Brussels sprouts, or both?
I would say both. Because I've had radishes and I can eat them. But I think and this is something that we were talking about before the podcast, that you like vegetables if you can't really taste them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't mind if there's lettuce in a burger, if there's not enough of it for you to be able to taste it.
Yeah, and I think I prefer not shredded lettuce, because then I can feel each individual strand. I just prefer like a leaf of lettuce, and I'm okay with it if there's like a sauce or like something that's masking that taste.
So like there's basically not enough of it for you to even gain any nutritional value from it.
I guess so. I mean, it could be more than one leaf, but I just don't like the shreddedness of it, because you can more easily feel the texture and like how it tastes. People always say that lettuce doesn't taste like anything. To me, it has a taste, and it's a taste that I don't like.
Okay. Well, radishes do have a taste, and it's like bitter, and it kind of has this sourness to it. Bitter and sour. Interesting. But if it's cut up very thinly and it's being masked by other things, I don't mind it. Brussels sprouts, I'm not good at making Brussels sprouts, but if you go to a restaurant, or if you get takeout, because you shouldn't be going to restaurants right now, and there just so happens to be roasted Brussels sprouts in it, it's pretty good. I just don't know how to make them properly.
See, I've also had good Brussels sprouts, and I didn't like them at all.
Then how are you they're good, but you didn't like them?
I mean that they're good as in they were prepared by someone who knows how to cook Brussels sprouts. Because I used to do wedding videography, and a lot of these would be like at hotels and like really nice venues.
Yeah.
So I've been somewhere and I've had them where like someone who knows how to cook them, and I still didn't like them. So to me, that makes sense that Brussels sprouts were in like the bottom of this list of vegetables that people didn't like.
What? Okay, of the vegetables that you've tried, Brussels sprouts is at the bottom for you?
I think so. I think I would put Brussels. So see, I also complained about broccoli and cauliflower. I think I could eat broccoli, at least the green part, not the stem.
What?
I guess it's all green.
The stem doesn't really have any flavor.
It has more. Like I can trick myself into liking or to eating broccoli because the bush part, I guess, I don't know what it's called. Mm-hmm. I can trick myself into thinking those are more like seeds. What? And so I can think that they're more like small seeds than I can the trunk of it, which has a weird texture to me. I don't know. I don't like.
That is so interesting to me because when I make any meal that's including broccoli, I cut up the stem and I cook it too. And when I eat my food,
it has a bad smell.
I pick out the stems and I eat them first because I like to just eat the steamed broccoli stems on their own.
No, I can't do that. But I could put broccoli up higher on this list than cauliflower or Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
I guess those two, Brussels sprouts and cauliflower, would be at the bottom of my list.
Your least favorite?
Yeah. But I could eat raw broccoli bush, I guess.
Raw broccoli bush.
Raw broccoli bush. What is the top called?
The head?
Yeah, I guess the head.
Wait.
Is it?
No, I think the whole thing,
is
called
head.
the head. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to call it the bush just because I think that sounds funny.
Bush.
Broccoli bush.
Okay.
I can have raw broccoli bush, but not stem. Once it's cooked, I'm out. Just because I hate the smell so much. I wouldn't want it anywhere near me.
So crazy.
Same thing with cauliflower. At least the smell. So we've already discussed that I don't eat many vegetables.
Right.
And that was some of the questions that were tackled in the study. People recognize that they probably should be eating more vegetables. Mm-hmm. And some people might actually feel guilty that they don't eat it.
Where do you fall in that, though? As someone who doesn't really eat vegetables often, like, do you feel like you should be eating more vegetables? Do you feel guilty for not eating very many?
I wouldn't say that I feel guilty for not eating as many, but I would say that I do think I should be eating more vegetables.
Why?
Because just it's healthier. I'm not necessarily like on a strict I have to be healthy, but like I would like to be healthier. Just as I'm getting older, I feel like I should eat a little more responsibly. But nearly 3 in 4 of Americans, 72%, admitted that they wish they ate more vegetables than they currently do, and I think I would be one of those 3 in 4. But 67% said they feel guilty when they don't have any vegetables in their meal, which I don't agree. Like, I'm not a part of that group. I don't feel guilty for not having vegetables.
Right.
But why don't they eat vegetables? A quarter of people say they don't eat them because it rots before they can eat it.
This is so silly. This is so silly to me.
This survey really got you mad.
And then the same number feels that vegetables are too expensive to buy.
I don't agree with that one.
I don't agree with that at all. Especially, okay, I think the reason why you don't agree with that is because I've seen you shop. You've seen me shop. And I can buy a whole cart full of food, which are primarily vegetables, for $40.
Yep, $40 is what you spend on groceries a week.
Yeah. And it's perfectly fine. I will buy maybe 4 or 5 bundles of kale, 2 bags of spinach, maybe like 8 heads of broccoli, huge carrots, tomatoes, sunflower microgreens. Of course, there's got to be sweet potatoes in there.
How many sweet potatoes?
This week, I bought 5 or 6.
5 or 6. So you're not just having it like 1 or 2. Like, you are buying it. I would say 5 or 6 is a substantial amount of sweet potato for a week.
Yeah. And then I get like frozen vegetables like edamame and green peas, and I buy some Ripple pea protein milk and things like that, and $40. And it's all veggies.
Yeah, because what you just listed is a lot of food. It's a lot of vegetables. You get 8 heads of broccoli. About 8 heads of broccoli and all this other food, and you're only spending $40.
Yeah, so that's why it's so crazy to me. A quarter say that the produce rots before they can eat it. And the same number, okay. The same number say that vegetables are too expensive to buy. That's just crazy to me. Because I've also seen you get groceries too. And it's kind of funny when we go grocery shopping together because our carts look very different.
Mm-hmm.
And you will buy maybe half of the amount of food that I do and spend like $60 because you're buying things like what? Like meat and tortillas and cheese and things like that, which is what I would say the average American is buying. And so I don't think that I just think that they're not buying enough vegetables. And they're just throwing out numbers like that.
Yeah, they don't really understand how much they cost.
Yeah.
The vegetables rotting before they can eat it, why are they waiting so long to eat it?
Seriously.
If you're going to buy it, then make it, eat it.
Yeah, we talked about this before the podcast too. I don't understand that at all. If you intentionally went to the grocery store and you bought vegetables, it's super easy to just eat it. And another 22% of these people that were surveyed said that they find veggies take too long to prepare.
I can agree with that.
I disagree.
I've seen you cook. I've seen you prepare your vegetables, your broccoli that you cut up, your carrots, and everything that you're cutting and measuring, and that takes so long.
It's literally just chopping, though.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like the act of chopping and preparing. I don't know. I think it takes a while.
But I think that with any meal, there is a level of preparation because you have to grab your ingredients and you have to put them together. I just have to chop a few things. And I think that I would argue that meat takes longer to prepare because you have to season it and cut it. And sometimes you got to take the fat off and you have to marinate it and then you have to grill it or whatever way that you're cooking it. So I think that with any food, you can make the argument that it takes a while to prepare, but that doesn't mean you should avoid it altogether.
And some people even said that they don't know how to cook it properly. 20% of people said that, one of the reasons that they don't eat vegetables is because they don't know how to cook it. I think I could agree with that. I don't think I would know how to cook it. Like, just based on what I've seen you do, is you just basically just steam it.
It's so simple. You put a little bit of water in a pan, you throw your cut up veggies in it, you put a top on it, and then you just walk away.
But I feel like maybe people want to prepare it in some other way, like to make it more appealing. But that other way is what I don't know. Like what else do you do to cook vegetables? How do you cook them? So
you could also roast vegetables. You can put them on a pan, a sheet, and you can put it in the oven. You can put oil on it. You could add seasonings, and you can mix it all up, and you can have it that way. So it's really easy.
Yeah, and this is, like, just thinking about it now, that kind of bothers me. Like, you're not eating it just because you don't know how to prepare it. I feel like we live in such a internet age where it can be easy to find out how to cook them. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that, it doesn't take that long. It's not that hard to find out how to cook them.
Yeah.
I think it's a relatively simple process.
I think that just collectively Americans are used to fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And when it takes a bit more effort, they're just like, oh, I'll just go to McDonald's or wherever where they'll make food for me.
Do you think you're a slow eater?
Do I think I'm a slow eater?
Yes.
No. I get really excited when I eat. I think that I just eat large quantities of food, so it takes longer for me to eat.
It's because I do think you're a slow eater. Because I'm just thinking, isn't that one of like the worst parts of eating and cooking? It's just like you feel like preparing your food takes so long, but then eating it, you could be done super quick.
Yeah, I've seen you eat fast. Like, you just started eating your sandwich or whatever it is, and now it's gone.
Yeah, but sandwiches don't take long to prepare. Like for me, I guess I have breakfast tacos, and those usually take maybe 20-ish minutes to cook, maybe a little longer, and I feel like I can be done with them in 8 to 10 minutes.
I think the reason why it doesn't take you very long to eat those things is because they're more like finger foods. Like you could grab your taco and eat it with your hands and take a full bite of 4 different things. Whereas if you had it in a bowl and all of these things are separate and you were having to have it with a spoon, then it would take longer. I like to eat from a bowl with a spoon.
Okay, that makes sense to me. because you prepare all your food and put it into a bowl, like you just said. So you have to eat it with a spoon. You can't just grab like a big chunk in your hand. I guess you could do that, but you'd probably be a little weird. You don't grab it just a big chunk in your hand and stuff it in your mouth.
It's much easier to bite into a burger and bite into the bread, the patty, the tomato, the lettuce, all of the things at once. Whereas if you were having that in a bowl, you know, with a spoon, you would have to take smaller mouthfuls of it.
But I still think that makes you a slow eater.
I don't think so.
I still think that makes you a slow eater.
I know that I eat fast because I'm excited to eat. I love eating. So I feel like I'm a fast eater. Maybe I ate slower in the past, but I feel like I can't be bothered to sit down and, well, I don't sit down and eat. That's another thing about me. I feel like I'm this anomaly. I don't sit down to eat, and I feel like I eat quickly just because I'm like, I'm excited and I want to be full already.
So going back to the top 2 vegetables that people said were their favorites, it was corn and potatoes. You said that sweet potato was your number 1.
Yeah, boy.
What is your number 2? Do you have a number 2?
My number 2 favorite vegetable?
Is your favorite based on just how you like the taste, or is it just based on how frequent you have it?
I think it's both. Sweet potato is because I love the taste of sweet potato. I wish I had it more often. I mean, this week has been, like I said, it's been a really good week for me.
It's been a problem? You've had a problem this week?
No. My second favorite vegetable, I would probably say that it's broccoli.
Broccoli?
Yeah. I can't go a day without having broccoli because I like having it in my meals.
See, the reason why I ask if it's based on the frequency and the flavor is because this isn't vegetables, but I would say watermelon is my favorite fruit. But I have other fruits way more often than I have watermelon. I have like strawberries more often. I have strawberries and cherries more often than I do watermelon.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I would say watermelon is my favorite fruit. I can say that confidently, but I have other fruit way more often than I do.
You think maybe it's because of availability?
I don't think so. I feel like watermelon's available all year long. Like even like pre-cut.
But it's not always good. Watermelon definitely has a season, and right now, luckily, we are in the midst of it, and the watermelons are glorious. But if you had a watermelon in December, it would not be as good as if you had a watermelon right now.
I guess so. But that's also, you know, what I'm wondering, if you said broccoli is your number 2, and you said you can't have a meal without it?
Yeah, I can't go a day without having broccoli.
You can't go a day without it. Okay. I feel like a vegetable that you have almost every day, like 6 days out of the week, is kale and spinach.
I was expecting you to say that.
So that's what I'm also wondering. Are those not considered your favorite? Because tell me about that. Why do you have kale and spinach every day, or almost every day?
Yeah, I have kale and spinach pretty much every day because I love smoothies. I love green smoothies so much. And yeah, what makes them green is kale and spinach.
What do you have in your smoothies?
I have kale, spinach. That's it. Just kidding. And bananas, my Ripple pea protein milk, peanut butter, flax seeds, hemp seeds, Brazil nut. And that's it.
And you have this 6 days out of the week.
Now it's 5.
Now
I don't have it on Sundays or Mondays. Sundays because I sleep over at your place and it's just easier to make overnight oats. And then Mondays because I work and I have a meeting early in the morning, and so I make overnight oats. But if I could choose, I would have it every day. Right.
So I'm just saying, like, you have it so often. I feel like, why isn't that your favorite? So it's not. You never really have that on its own, do you?
No. There have been a few occasions where I've had kale and spinach in my meal, but I would prefer to have it in smoothie.
In a smoothie.
Yeah.
In this whole podcast, we talked about how you have different vegetables every day. You've had vegetables every single day.
I do.
You do. The last time I had a vegetable that I can actually vividly remember is maybe like a week and a half ago.
That's so insane to me. If I did not have a vegetable for a week and a half, what would I eat? What would I be eating?
I have no idea.
Just beans? I would literally...
Okay, so if we're counting beans as part of a vegetable,
but they're not.
They're considered a vegetable based on the nutritional value.
No, Okay, in this study specifically, if we're going back to this, the only bean that they considered a vegetable was a green bean.
That's not the only one they considered. That's just what the top vegetable was.
Okay, let's look at the list at the bottom of this survey, because they have a whole list of what they considered to be vegetables.
No, that's not what they consider to be vegetables. It's their top vegetables, the top 10 vegetables and top 10 disliked vegetables. Okay. It's not just here are vegetables.
Okay, so they have corn, potatoes, carrots, tomatoes for some crazy reason, onions, green beans, cucumbers, which I'm pretty sure a cucumber is a fruit. Just saying. It's got seeds. Broccoli, cabbage, peas, turnips, beets, radishes.
Okay, so those were the top 10 most liked.
Oh, right, sorry.
And beginning with turnips is that the most disliked.
Yeah, so disliked is turnips, beets, radishes, Brussels sprouts, artichoke, eggplant, butternut squash. Butternut squash is incredible. Zucchini, mushroom doesn't belong in there because it's a fungi, and asparagus. Man, butternut squash. These people are crazy.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. Like you said, mushrooms don't belong in here, but it's considered a vegetable just based on the nutritional value. That's what I'm saying. So if beans are considered vegetables based on the nutritional value, then I've had a vegetable like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say, if that's the case, if beans are considered vegetable, then I would say my most frequently eaten vegetable are beans. Is beans?
Are beans.
Are beans.
Yeah.
Arby's. We have
Arby's?
The meats.
Goodness. That's not what we're talking about right now. If I took away even beans, because if now we're considering beans a vegetable, then I would, for a week and a half, like you said, the last time you had a vegetable, then I would have stopped eating for a week and a half because I don't eat anything other than that.
Yeah, it's if we're not counting beans, then yeah, I think it has been like a week and a half, and that was some lettuce in a burger.
Maybe this study should have included more people with various diets.
You don't know what the diets are.
Maybe that's what it is. We should know.
I don't think we should know, because then that would skew the numbers. It's just a random sampling.
I guess so.
You know, if you did include, okay, so you're a big vegetable eater, or you're a vegan, and so you only eat plant-based, and so that would skew the numbers of how many people did eat it. This is just a random sampling, so I feel like it's more representative.
I guess so. Do you think that if I was in this study, I would throw off the numbers?
I don't think you throw off the numbers because it's just one person.
How would you throw off the numbers at all?
I don't think I would throw off the numbers at all.
You wouldn't be one of the people saying that you've never had a vegetable.
Yeah, I've had vegetables. I can say that I've had vegetables. I'm not 500 people.
Yeah, you're not the quarter of the people that they're talking. Neither one of us would be the quarter of people that they're talking about in this study. But it seems like the majority of the people who were surveyed have had vegetables, and they're not crazy, and they probably don't consider tomatoes as a vegetable or mushroom.
Or cucumbers?
Or cucumbers, that's right.
I don't know. See, I feel like my mind has been blown because now there's two definitions of vegetables. The actual vegetable because it's a vegetable because there's no seeds, and then just vegetable based on the nutritional value.
Yeah. I wonder what definition these people were given beforehand.
I think people just don't know. They don't realize that,
you
know, some things are vegetables, some things aren't some things are vegetables, and some things aren't vegetables.
Okay, guys.
I feel like I've said vegetables so much in this podcast that it's lost all meaning to me.
That's what the podcast is about.
I'm just saying some random word that doesn't make any sense.
If you've learned anything from this podcast today, it's that
I am confident extrapolating a quarter to mean 100%.
No.
So nobody likes vegetables.
Don't listen to what Robert just said. That's not true. If you've learned anything from this podcast, it's that if it has seeds, it's not a vegetable. It's a fruit. Boom. Lock it in. Final answer.
And I guess that's it. On that note, we'll end it there. What do you guys think? Should mushrooms, should beans, should cucumbers, should tomatoes, should they be counted as vegetables?
Absolutely not.
Should there even be two definitions of vegetables? Is it helpful, or does it make things more confusing?
Yeah, let us know. You can email us your answers, or you could tag us on social media. We are
at A Recent Study Pod on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us, like Sam said, at arecentstudysuggest@gmail.com. Also, be sure to rate us wherever you're listening to this podcast, and also make sure to share us with a friend. We're still a growing podcast, and that's the best way to grow. It's, word of mouth. Get people, get your friends, get your families. Hey, like I found this podcast that talks about vegetables for 40 minutes.
Let's all argue about what a vegetable really is. Get the world stirred up on some veggies. I think because we all need something new to be mad about, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what can bring people together in this podcast is anger.
Yeah.
And debate. Yeah. Silly debates. I think that's the key. Silly debates. Is the definition for vegetables too confusing?
Let us know. Until next time.